Guys, welcome back to another video. I apologize, I have not been able to get a video out lately. I've been kind of sick. I've been not like sick, not like the C word sick or anything, but just, I don't know, just a random cold. So I'm back at it, I'm feeling good again. And I did also do a little CR85 bottom and top end motor build. I'll throw a little clip in right here of it. But so I have been a little bit busy on the side doing other things. So we're going to hop back in the KTM build. Now, if you have not checked out the KTM build, you can see some of the parts right there. I am barely getting into this. The only thing I've done so far is tore the bike down. Obviously bought the bike, talked about it, tore the bike down, and now we are starting on the motor. I have big plans for this motor. I am going to stay stock with it, but we're going to vapor hone some parts. We're going to Cerakote some parts. We're going to make it pretty sick when it's done. So if you're into that stuff, subscribe if you haven't, and follow me along. You're going to love it. So we're going to dive into this motor. We're going to get as far as we can today. I don't know how far we'll get, but I will break this up into a couple of parts as far as the motor teardown goes. This will be my first KTM motor. I'm excited to see the differences between it and a Japanese bike. I think there are quite a few differences, but we will find out once we get in. So let's quit talking. Let's tear it down. Okay, I got the jug off. Let me show you guys what I'm going to look for and what you should look for when you pull a motor apart. So first thing is on the crank, and we're going to talk specifically about the crank. I'm not really going to talk about the piston right now, but the crank itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, if you look, you want to check your play left and right like this. There's a certain tolerance that you're supposed to meet as far as your side-to-side play. And then also you want to pull up and down on the rod, and that has a tolerance also. Now there is zero play up and down on this crank, and my side-to-side, I'm going to say, is pretty much within spec. I'll have to look up spec on this bike, but this bike, the bottom end feels solid. So and then obviously this side-to-side play is the wrist pin on the actual rod. But again, this is kind of an interesting observation here. Piston looks great. There's a little bit of scarring kind of right there, but it does not correlate to the cylinder. So if we look at the cylinder here, the cylinder does not have any scoring whatsoever. It's got a little bit of and that's just on the surface right there, but hardly any scoring at all. It looks really good. I think we can just hone this one and throw it back in. So that is good news. Nothing crazy that needs to happen there. There's our exhaust valve workings, and with the KTMs, it's all internal. So I'm learning about this, but I think it's really cool. So I should have cleaned the engine a little better before I started turning it apart. That's okay. It's all going to be cleaned up before it goes back together. So got everything organized, and I think next what we're going to do, take our clutch cover off, take our ignition cover off, probably flip this engine around, and get our stator and everything like that off, flywheel stator, and we'll work on the outsides. Somebody did a little repair on this, but we're gonna fix it up and make it like brand new. We're gonna do an even better job. This is gonna get Cerakoted anyway. Now I just realized I may not have the right flywheel puller for this bike, but I do have a couple, so I'm gonna take this nut off and then we're gonna check that out. Ooh, how lucky is that? I do have the right one. Nice. Oh, there it is. Now before I take this stator plate off, there's a timing mark right here on the case and the actual stator plate. I'm just going to go ahead and take a picture of that, just so when I go back on it, I can make sure that I get my timing exactly perfect. I should be able to see these indents, or I guess marks from the bolts, but just because, be a little proactive here and make sure I do it right the first time. Okay, that about wraps it up for this side. We're going to spin the motor around, and now we're going to start tearing the clutch side apart. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is just drain some of the engine oil. I'm pretty sure I got it all out, but I'm going to double check because I can't actually remember if I did drain the engine oil or not. Part of me thinks I didn't, but we'll find out here in about 2 seconds. I guess I did not. And that is the nice thing about having one of these stands, is I can go ahead and do this. Alright, I got the majority of the oil out. I'm going to go ahead and let the rest come out through the clutch cover. Okay, now from what I understand, this exhaust valve spring, I should be able to just leave this whole setup in, but I'm not positive. What I mean is just keep it together inside the cover itself, the clutch side cover. Now I'm going to move on, taking off my kickstart lever and then all of the case bolts. Okay, see if this cover comes off. What do you know, it does. Aha, I see. Okay, that's handy. I don't know if you guys can tell here, but the spring, the gear, and everything is all one unit. That is sick. That is cool. I like it. Oh, there goes some coolant. That is reverse thread. Okay, I want to be really careful when I pull this out so that those pawls don't just spring out and I lose my stuff. So I'm going to try to keep this retainer plate over it. Oh, I win? I won! Alright, what I'm talking about is these right here. Those are the pawls, and then those are little caps, and inside those caps are springs. So if I were to just pop this off, they would just shoot all over the place. So got that off as one piece. That is a success. Okay, that is our little shift drum right there. I'm going to take out our spring, our little roller here. Spring loaded baby. Hopefully I don't get hit in the eye. Gosh dang. Nope, not under a ton of tension, but a little bit. Now this should just come out, I'm assuming. I'm not sure how these KTMs work, but usually usually this shaft is a nut and everything also. But what in the world? What is that? Oh my gosh! Something is broken. That looks like... Okay, so I figured out what it is. It goes to this shifter. I don't know why. Oh, okay, I got it. So what it is, this is a bearing that sits on this right here. So yeah, this thing has been riding like this on the shift drum without the bearing on there. That is nuts. So that's probably why the guy had so many issues with it and said it wouldn't go into first gear. Even though the shift lever was working, this is what was causing the problem. So cool. Well shoot, a guy could have just taken this clutch cover off, replaced this part, and been good to go. So either way, cheap fix, but we're doing a full motor rebuild anyway, so why not? Well, that's easy enough. Okay, so talking more about this, I think it's funny because you notice there's no bearing material in here. The other piece, that smaller piece to this right here, this bearing race, this outer bearing race is gone. So what I'm betting happened was previous owner did an oil change, found all those bearings in the oil and that part, and decided, oh my gosh, I've got to do a full motor build, and That's why they ordered the crank and everything like that, not knowing what needed fixed. So yeah, I mean, that's a simple part. I can just order this part right here, and I'm good to go. I'm golden. So yeah, easy fix. And that kind of fix could have been done without a full motor tear down. You wouldn't have to do that. You could have just pulled this side cover off and accessed all that once you pull your clutch off, no problem. So shift issues are pretty common on dirt bikes, especially like the Yamahas and things like that. They had shift issues on their 4-strokes with this exact setting or system right here, where the shift drum and the stopper arm would have problems communicating, working together. So anyway, that's just, it's just the reality of it. So that's kind of interesting, I think. But yeah, for us, it's good news. That's good stuff. So I'm excited about it. So I will need to make note and order a new one of these, which that is a simple replacement. And they may have an upgraded replacement for that too. That's a better deal if it was a common issue, but I'm not quite sure about that. All right, guys, we're to that point now where we are pretty much ready to split the cases. I'm going to remove the intake boot here and my reeds, and then I think that's pretty much it. And then we'll split the cases. So yeah, let's get the intake boot removed. Okay, silly me, I just figured something out here. This is probably a yeah. This is a washer. Oh my gosh, Sometimes I feel like I've never worked on anything in my life and I just miss this simple, stupid stuff. But yeah, so this is a washer. There we go. See? Told you it was a bolt. Now I should be able to get this out just by, zipping it out. There we go. And do not forget this itty bitty pin in here. Unless it just doesn't want to come out like that, then leave that sucker. All right, pretty sure that's everything. Intake boot, we're gonna call it a night. Check that out, guys. It's already got carbon reeds in it. Sweet. I mean, it should. They're V-Force reeds, so it should have some kind of reed in it, but that's cool that they're carbon reeds. That is awesome. All right, guys, we are to that point now where everything's tore down, neatly organized, and we are pretty much ready to split the cases. I'm gonna call it a night though. We're not gonna split the cases now. We'll save that for the second part of this video on disassembling the bottom end. So, thoughts. The motor's in great condition. All the parts are in great condition so far, minus that stopper assembly that we need to fix, but not a huge deal. Easy repair. We do have a couple upgrades here. It's got the V-Force reed cage with carbon reeds, which look, pretty much brand new. No wear to them at all. Clutch is in great shape. Clutch basket's in great shape. Everything is just in awesome shape. So no need for any upgrades or repairs right now, except for that stopper arm. So yeah, we got a solid base to this KTM. It just continues to impress me and make me happy. So next video, split the cases, get the innards out, get all the bearings out of the motor, and yeah, we're gonna keep this, I don't know what this is, powder coated look on the inside and the outside. It's kind of different. Normally the cases are just straight aluminum, but I'm not sure what the coating is. It's got to be a powder coating. It looks just like a powder coating. So obviously we're not going to try to hone that or vapor blast that or anything. So we're just going to leave it the way it is. Pretty happy with it so far. thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you following along in this build. We're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're going to send some parts off to get vapor honed and start doing some Cerakoting. Pretty pumped on the Cerakoting. It's going to be fun. So give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks.